Do you want to outrank giant competitors with SEO? Then stay tuned. Hey, I'm Sam Dunning, co-owner over at webchoiceuk.com and host of the Top 100 B2B Marketing Podcast Business Growth Show. If you haven't yet, check out my weekly email where I share actionable website and marketing tips, useful podcasts, goodies, resources, and more, kicking off your week with a bang. Give it a shot over at businessgrowth.email. So often when I'm speaking to prospects, clients, customers, they tell me, usually in their industry, there's a few giant competitors they think they're never going to beat when it comes to organic search and SEO. Well, it's time to turn that around. I'm going to share 5 actionable tips you can put into play to outrank huge competitors with SEO. So tip 1 is your keyword targeting. So the search terms that you want to organically rank on page 1 of Google. Let me give you a scenario. Let's pretend you're an ERP provider. If you're going after really generic, super competitive terms like ERP company, ERP consultancy, ERP agency, the giants in your industry are probably going to dominate the top spots. And unless you've got tons of resource and budget, it ain't going to happen anytime soon. So let's drill down, get more niche, get more specific, focus on the industries that you really want to tap into. So let's pretend your focus is ERP for the manufacturing industry. Then let's utilize that in your keyword targeting. You could look at things like ERP for manufacturing companies, best manufacturing company ERP, ERP solutions for manufacturers. Those specific niche keywords become long tail. They mean you can rank faster because they're more niche, more targeted, and also means that people that search that are probably going to have high buying intent and are going to be more relevant that come through your website as leads rather than just being for any ERP solution or provider. So get niche, get specific, and get higher quality leads with your keyword targeting. Number 2 is your website content. So once you've nailed down the target keywords that you want to rank for, they might be a mix of short tail and longer tail specific search terms like we talked about. You need to look at your website and, more importantly, the content. So you want to have dedicated pages for each of the main services, each of the main industries that you work with, each of your main products and offerings, and even the locations you serve. So we can basically serve up the most relevant content on Google and give people exactly what they're looking for. So a great way to provide super helpful, actionable content that's going to rank is literally type in one of the keywords you want to rank for on Google. So for example, if we wanted to rank for ERP for manufacturing companies, if we go back to that example, we could search it on Google. We could see what companies are ranking organically in the non-paid listings for the top 3 or 4 positions. Let's look at each of their content. Perhaps they've got 1,000 or so words. Maybe they've got an infographic. Maybe they've got a video. Then you want to look at ways that you can one-up each of these competitors' piece of content. Maybe it's adding more actionable copy. Maybe you make your content more helpful, more useful. Maybe you add some unique data in the industry, some unique stats. Maybe you provide a better infographic. Maybe you provide a walkthrough video. Maybe you add a customer testimonial. Then you add a podcast dedicated with the YouTube and audio links. So you're looking for a bunch of ways you can one-up it. Maybe you've got some frequently asked questions that prospects often ask you around that solution. Maybe you're handling that common objections you get on sales calls in the copy. So you're literally looking for all these points that you can one-up their content to make it super useful, actionable for customers, prospects that land on the page, help it rank on Google because it's going to be super relevant and high quality. And at the end, of course, have that social proof and have those call to actions to make it easy if people want to reach out and speak to your sales team. Coming in at number 3, we've got technical SEO. So we've talked about content. Now moving it over to the technical side of things. This covers a bunch of things such as page speed. So making sure your website loads super fast. You can use a tool called Google Page Speed Insights to check your speed and get actionable tips to improve it. So it could be things like animations, big images, videos, all these things that could be slowing down your site. Making sure your website works smoothly on mobile, tablet, and PC screen sizes. Having a dedicated mobile view and desktop view can help you quite a lot. Following best practices for meta titles and descriptions, so the things that show in the Google search results. Following things like image alt tags, heading tags, H1s, H2s for your title tags on your site, making sure you've got SEO-friendly URLs, so your links read friendly when they're getting picked up by the search engines. Doing all the best practices to make sure your site is technically sound, again, is going to be a big help. Many companies don't do this properly. At number 4, we've got become the go-to resource for your industry. So the advantage smaller companies have over massive large-scale corporates is they can make decisions much faster. There's way less red tape. You don't have to go through really long drawn-out approval processes. You can make stuff happen fast. So this is really useful when it comes to putting out great content. So you can consider things like starting your own industry relevant podcast, maybe starting a YouTube series, maybe a webinar, maybe another video series, building out a really useful blog article section on your website, all of which can go under a resource or guide or whatever you want to call it section on your website. Each piece can have its own dedicated page. So it's all super searchable content with the videos, maybe the podcast, the article, a written summary, all of which can answer common questions that you get from prospects, can provide tips and tricks, and can really build up demand on Google. So when someone searches for any of these queries, any of these tips, any of these questions, your website can start to rank. Also, it's evergreen content, so it's not just a one and done. It's something that can keep bringing inbound, can keep being found for the long term organically on Google. And last but not least, at number 5, we've got building backlinks. So even if you've put out some great content, if the keywords you're trying to rank are super competitive and all the competitors have got decent links going to their pages, chances are you might not rank. So you might want to consider getting some quality backlinks to those pages. A few ways you can do so are you can partner with existing clients, prospects, or contacts that have got established websites that have got some authority. You can create some media together. Maybe you create a video series, a podcast, blog series. Do something of value to your audience that there's real demand for. Put it out there, publish a page on each other's sites, and there you can give each other a backlink. Another way is you can guest on podcasts that are relevant to your target audience. So ours might be marketing, yours might be in the tech or manufacturing or finance space, whatever the heck you operate in. Reach out to podcast hosts, get onto their show, and then when they put out the podcast on an article page on their website, ask for a link back to your site. Or thirdly, you can work with an agency just like ours, so a company like WebChoice that has a network of reputable industry relevant sites where we can build links, we can publish quality content, and we can get your website ranking organically on Google. And there you have it. I hope these 5 tips to outrank the giants in your industry with SEO have been of use. As always, if you're on the audio podcast, a quick rating or review is much appreciated. On YouTube, a subscribe goes a really long way. And with that, I shall catch you on the next one. Cheers.